Yes, hopefully let's go ahead and play this. That's good. Very, very good. Make sure I'm gonna just check something else. It's now live. Good, good. Just want to check my sound. And hopefully I'm coming. Yep, good. Hello, everybody. Okay, Persons 2018 is here. So we got a bunch of people here, but it's not showing up in a little chat. But I've got home plate. Oh, what is that? Home plated Bido? Home plate Bido? I'm not sure. Person 2018, welcome. Let's see. Talking Grobble, welcome. Okay, so Lightwave Roundtable, guys. That means you guys can jump on and join in. Grandmaster Zach, hey, welcome. Good morning. Good to see you. So here, I'm going to put the link for you guys to come on and share. And this is being done through StreamYard. And just have of course, your headset ready. If you have a laptop, you should be pretty much good to go. And just jump on board. Andrew Combe is supposed to be coming in. Hopefully, we can get Chilton here. I sent him an email, but today is Super Bowl Sunday, right? So it's probably dangerous having a meeting today in general. But I figured the meetings. What time? Actually, in fact, I haven't even checked the time of the Super Bowl. There's Andrew. Yay! There we go. Andrew, you are on live.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. And you can go ahead and share your screen too.
I haven't got anything to show you. I told you.
Well, it's just this round.
I could share my browser. It's I don't.
You know what? Something like people still have questions on kind of getting used to the texturing engine in Lightwave. I've been getting some questions coming in about that. Maybe something simple about that.
If people have got questions, please ask. But I don't have anything to show.
Okay, that'll be a good idea. If you guys ask questions and we can go from there. Person 2018 says, I'm going to post the questions. Hey, Steve, I was looking through your videos on Twitch and I can't find any of the presentations where you and Steve White on the Blender stuff. I know I've got that recorded. I think I've got to upload that. I'll get that done. I'll get that done by the day of tomorrow. So I've got it recorded, uploaded to my hard drive, and I don't know what the rules are with Twitch lately. I know I've got videos from Twitch on here that are from December, and I know that they're supposed to kind of like. I'm not quite sure what's going on with that, but Twitch will record everything right after our broadcast, and then I will usually just take that and record it to my hard drive. So I'll find those videos and upload that up to Twitch. And Persons, you want to share something today? I'll put the link in here again so that so you can come on live with us on StreamYard.
So you've got something to show. Save me because I don't.
Anything could be in this. Nothing has to be prepared. It can be any stupid little thing that you guys just want to show, or something you discovered, or something you thought was really cool, or maybe something you wish Lightwave did but doesn't do. I mean, just come on and share. I reached out to Chilton, who was presenting for us last week. I don't know. Is he a Super Bowl guy? What time does Super Bowl start, guys?
I don't know football in America.
Well,
I don't even know football in my country.
Well, were you exempt from that question? 6:30. So Person says 6:30 p.m. Where are you, Persons? Are you located on the West Coast, East, or Ohio? Okay, so you're Midwest. I think it's Midwest, right? So it's 6:30. So our time should be about 4:30. So it's early evening. That's way after our broadcast. So that's not going to affect us. Eastern time. Oh, that's right. That is pretty close to Chicago, isn't it? Yeah. So cool. All right. So I'm going to I'll put in the link again. You guys can come on and share with us. We got more people jumping in. Let me say hello, everybody, real quick. Grandmaster Zach is here. Um, home plated Bido, I guess, is here. Let's see. I Iconazatori, welcome. John Merchant, welcome. John, would love for you to come on and present something. Persons 2018, hello again. Taking Robble. Talking Grobble. I mispronounced. I can't even talk to this. Can't even talk this morning. I mispronounced that one. Welcome everybody. Lightwave Roundtable. Daphne is here. Hey, how you doing? But Daphne is not even showing up on the users list at all. There's a bunch of people here. I've got like double the amount of people actually in the room than what's showing up on the chat box here.
Obviously, you're being stealthy.
Yes, stealthy. There's always been an issue with Twitch. So Daphne says hi. Actually, Daphne's comment came through faster on StreamYard than it did on Twitch itself. Oh, very cool. Yeah, I love the StreamYard. It's wonderful, wonderful. So, okay. We will let's see what I'm going to do is I'm going to close my door behind me. I think there's voices coming in the background from outside that weren't there before when I started the broadcast. So give me like 10 seconds. I'll close the back door and then we'll kind of get rocking and rolling. And again, Andrew, you can just do whatever the heck you want. I know you've got dinner coming up, so I figure I'll let you go first.
Yeah, but I still haven't got any ideas. I'm just here out of politeness.
All right. Well, matter of fact, maybe you can help me out with some things then.
If I can, yes.
Yeah. Well, you usually do.
I can try.
You usually never disappoint. Let me shut the door behind me real quick, and we'll get rocking and rolling. All right. Now that that's been done, I can get back in my command chair. All right, cool. I tell you what, I'll go ahead and share I'll tell you what, I'll share some things I'm working on. Okay, so Rotrag, welcome. I see Daphne says it didn't make me go through the regular process. I got straight in. Okay. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's interesting. I think once you have logged in before, it probably remembers you on StreamYard. So Rotsrag says, I've been playing. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and put it up here. He's been playing around with DP Tree, UV mapping. You know what? Why don't you share that, Rotsrag? Rotrag. Yes, share that. I tell you what, I'll give you. I'm putting in the chat box a link again to join us on StreamYard. You'll come right on in and right on through. Cresthead, make it so. Yay. Let's see. JS1000, welcome. Great to see you. Hello, he says to everybody. Hello back. If you want to share something, I just tap once again. I just put in the StreamYard link right into the chat box. So click on that. Come on in. Sometimes we'll get Carm in here. See, Carm always has stuff to show. Carm's always playing around with stuff. Okay, so I tell you what, I'm going to go share my screen, I suppose. And it's going to ask me what screen to share. So I'm going to go share my little Lightwave screen here. Well, I figured at least I can do is I can share some stuff I've been working on. I started 2 last week, and then all the presenters jumped on. So I kind of stopped sharing what I was working on and let them take it away from there. Let me go ahead and hit my 0 key on my keyboard, go forward. And I tell you I'll start with the okay, somebody's coming in. Rotsrag is there. I'm going to add you to the stream. The guests will need to connect their microphone. Is your microphone connected? Before I can add them to the stream. So Rotsrag is saying that you don't have a microphone connected. If that's true, make sure your microphone is definitely connected. You probably think it is, and it may not be. But I've got you in the room. I can see you, but it's saying you have no microphone. So maybe you can get that straightened out. Edit. I'm just looking at the preferences for your particular avatar, but nothing that I can do on my end. It looks like something on your end you'll have to kind of deal with. All right. JS1000 saying, hey, thumbs up. Welcome. All right. Now, a bunch of new people just jumped in. All right. So just for those who just jumped in, this is all the Lightwave Roundtable once again. Basically impromptu sharing, whatever you want. So I am going to put the link in there again. And I'll see you come in on the room here. So don't worry about it. I've got 3 monitors in front of me here. So while I'm presenting on one, I'll see whoever comes up into the room, and I'll bring you into the broadcast. So Rotsreg, definitely get your microphone fixed or applied, and then so we can get you on to share, what you would like to share with the community. You guys can also share demo reels, right? So anybody has demo reels, and if you want me to, I can bring them up as well on screen and share with the group. So if everybody want to punch in their little demo reels in here, that would be great. That's kind of like a really good start. So, all right, as some of you probably know, I've been working on been getting these projects, 3D projects for designing parts for practical modeling. And let's see, persons just came up with a question here. He says, I got a question for everybody in the chat. I'm looking for a decent 2K 27-inch monitor. Any recommendation? That's a good question. I'll tell you the one that I'm using. In fact, I'll go to my Amazon account here so you can take a look at it. Let me bring up another tab here. We'll bring it up over here, and I'll show you. I've got the BenQ. So I'm gonna go over to Amazon, and I'm gonna go to my orders. I don't know why it's asking me. Yeah, that should do that. Sign in. Okay, so I'll show you the one that I'm using. Let's see, it's way back. Yeah, I don't want to do all this. I'll just go ahead and just search it here. Okay, so the BenQ, which are some fabulous monitors. They're 4K monitors, is what I'm using. This is it. Okay, there we go. So this is a 28-inch for $299. And what I've got is I heard a little bit of a beep here. Not quite sure what that meant, but all right. So I've got 2 27 inches on either side, and then a 32-inch right in the middle. They're all BenQ. So these are the 28, and I wonder if I got 28s instead of 27. I may have ordered 28s. I can't remember. So this was $299, 28 monitor, 4K, fabulous monitors. They're one of the best on the market. And this is Amazon here. You can see some lesser price. Here's a 27-inch, $139, but this is not 4K. So I recommend that you stick to 4K, persons. Okay, so Pixelati, let's see, has he mentions 27-inch IPS monitor. Let me see if that's actually on Amazon. Maybe Amazon sells that one. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this page. Go to Amazon and let's see what that goes for. So let's see, he's recommending the Dell, let's see, IPS, Dell IPS monitor, 27-inch there. All right, there it is. That's 237. No, I went with the BenQ because that was always my dream monitor. I mean, it supposedly holds color accurately and for quite a long period of time. So it's always my dream monitor. So I went with BenQ. I was a monitor I could never afford, and then I got a good 3D job and that paid well, and I went ahead and just purchased them all at one time. So now I'm happy with my monitors. I'm also working on a Cintiq, and I'll show that to you as well. This is the Dell. So this is his Dell. This is the one he's recommended here, the IPS monitor. If I click on it, and I'm assuming I don't see any nomenclature that says it's 4K. This monitor may not be 4K, so personally, I wouldn't recommend it. I would stick to 4K because everything now is going to 8K. So I think we should keep up with the technology as much as possible. You want 2K? Why do you want 2K? To keep the test at a decent size? I'm not sure what you mean. BenQ also does IPS monitors. Okay. Let's look at the BenQ IPS. Let's see, BenQ. There we go. Yeah, that's it. Oh, gaming monitor there. Okay, that's $299. That's $299. That's great. Yeah, I mean, I would say be willing to spend at least $300 on a good monitor of that particular size. So check it out on Amazon. I love Amazon. I mean, it's just the addictiveness of being able to order online and it just comes to your front door. It's kind of like Christmas every day. So yeah, I'm working with the BenQ. I'll show you the Cintiq. Now I work with Wacom, and they support me with their monitors, but I highly recommend. And they're having record sales right now because of the whole COVID thing. Everybody is at home, so now they're all ordering monitors. A lot of the artists are all ordering Cintiq monitors to work from home. Okay, so Wacom, and let me go over to the products, and I recommend these right here. Now, if you got the money, I highly recommend you go with these monitors. Now, this is the Mobile Studio Pro. I do have one of these as well, a 16-inch one. This is an actual a computer. It's a computer tablet with Windows 10 operating system. It's darn good. So I'm running all of my my Lightwave, the ZBrush, and Blender, all on that machine there. And it's really handy for the cafes. I can take it to the cafes, work at the table, draw and paint with my stylus. Here's my Wacom stylus there. That's really handy. So Daphne, I think, made a little comment here. Love your Cintiq. Yeah, isn't it great? Man, I love the Cintiq. So the Cintiq here, let's see, I'm gonna recommend me go back the products. And let's go to the pen displays. That was the pen computer I clicked on. Okay, so the one that I'm working on now is the 22-inch. So this is what I recommend you guys to have. Go with the 22-inch. Even though I've got a 32-inch BenQ monitor, I replaced that with the Cintiq. because now I've got my eye hand connection with the stylus, drawing and painting, and I find it invaluable for modeling in Lightwave. So this is it, 22-inch. Now this is the old. I think this is the old 22-inch. The new one does not have the buttons on the side anymore. Now your drawing space dominates the entire screen. So basically, I get most of the screen is actually what you're going to be drawing on. This looks like the older version, I believe, but essentially it's similar and it's lighter. The older version was a little bit heavier. This is the one I have now is much lighter, and you can get it in the Pro version, which means it's touch on screen. Use your hands to kind of move things around. Let's see. Let me go here. So Ben Parsons, we got touch and non-touch. So it's up to you. I like touch, right? I like touch. I do. When I'm working in Photoshop or in 3D modeling, I like to use the hand gestures to move things around while I'm working with the stylus. I'm ambidextrous here. I'm working with both hands all the time. Person says he had a BenQ 27 and 2K. Loved the color, but returned it because on a full white screen, it had brown splotches in the lower third. That's really bizarre. Yeah, that shouldn't be happening. BenQ is known for having, top quality mechanics in their products. So that's unusual. Definitely saying did something freeze for anybody, but that's probably your bandwidth, I'm assuming. So Andrew says that's really odd. I had mine for ages and it's absolutely solid. Yeah, me too. I agree with Andrew. All right, I totally agree with Andrew. So that's a fluke in my opinion. So, but this here is great. I like the Cintiqs. They've got other versions of the Cintiqs. That was a 22-inch. They've got the, let's see, 24. They got 24 if you want to go bigger. Yeah, I think the one I was going to show you was this 24-inch here, which I love. All right. I mean, we can play the video if we want to. You don't have to, but kind of gives you an idea. And what's nice is you have the legs come out of the back, so you can either set it on your lap or you can just set it on the desk. It's all up to you. But yeah, you guys can watch that video on. I'm just going to Wacom.com. All right, here I'll just put the link right into the chat box here. JS1000 says, I'm putting the link right down there so everybody's got it. Okay, he says he has a Dell 24 15Q. That's a 24-inch, gotcha. 4K IPS as my main monitor. Yeah, that's a good monitor. Yeah, that's a great monitor. Loves the quality, but it could be a little bigger. I know. I mean, when I bought my 32-inch, even with the 32-inch, my BenQ, I still think it could be a little bigger. So, in fact, I just ended up buying a 65-inch smart TV for the living room. Then I sent that back to get a 70. It's like it can always be bigger. Oh man! So let's see. Rotsrag says I have a Wacom Intros large, but rarely use it. It's too big for my desk. I agree. I teach at the university level, or the college level. So the largest I recommend my students to purchase from Wacom is a medium. So I'm going to hold up the medium that I've got. So I am working on the pad, my Wacom pad, the entire time I'm doing these broadcasts. So, and this is the Intros Pro. It's a medium. It'll fit into my backpack or my laptop bag or just on my desk. And you can get a small version too. Right? You can get one just slightly smaller than this. That makes it even more convenient. So so keep that in mind as well. Daphne says, okay, they've changed it a lot. Mine weighs like 60 pounds. What question me? So you talking about the Cintiq, Daphne? I'm going to assume. Yeah, I've got the old Cintiq too, and it's heavy. In fact, I'm giving it away to a friend of mine. It's the old 21-inch Cintiq. Doesn't exist anymore. It weighs a ton, but it still works. It's reliable, right? Okay, so look at more comments here. So GS1000 talking about they love the rendering speeds of these new monitors. Persons looks like the Asus. Okay, so yeah, I looked at the Asus, but they're still using PWM backlighting and not direct current. Yeah, I mean, I think BenQ is really a good choice for everybody. Bigger is better applies to TVs, but not a Wacom tablet. No, that's right. That's exactly right. Not when it comes to Wacom tablet. You want practicality when it comes to the Wacom tablet. Okay, so Daphne says, I'm going to be buried with mine. Yeah. That's right. When I die, I'm taking my Wacom tablet with me. It's great. So okay, there we go. Talking that just happened to come up about monitors to use. Good 4K. Stick with 4K. I mean, in my opinion, unless you want the 2K. 2K is better for calibration, especially with current inkjet printers. Let's see. Pixelato says, I'm looking. I'm still rocking my ancient 12-inch Intros 2. They still work, right? I still have my Intros 2. I have my Intros 3, Intros 4. I kept all my tablets. I still have my small version of the Intros Pro, or was it Intros 4? I can't remember. Yeah, it's I love the Wacom product, top quality stuff. GS1000 mentioned I was referring to the monitor size and comparing it to 3D software rendering speed. Never enough size or rendering speed. Yep. Let's see. Pixelato says for what I do is fine. Yeah. Okay, that's true. If you want something less, that's fine. It works for you.
Yeah, I think I've avoided getting a 4K monitor. I could afford to buy a new one, but then I would have to render in 4K, which is like quarter of the speed. So then also have to get a new computer that was at least 4 times as fast, if not more, and then it just becomes a rat race, doesn't it? So I just sort of don't want to take that step because I haven't got infinite money.
Nope, I totally hear you, man.
So I can totally agree with what what they're saying about it. Sometimes it's a bit much when you've got too big of a monitor. Plus, having a look at the BenQ site, I wanted to get a new one, and then you go, okay, but which technology do you go with? Because okay, you've got IPS, VA, and TN, which obviously I wouldn't go for that one. But
actually, do me a favor. Describe those technologies. Everybody.
Okay, right.
So IPS and stuff.
There's 2 main good display technologies and one kind of crappy one, right? Because the TN is the original one. That's the display screen. You know, when you stand up, the screen shifts and the colors go wrong.
Right.
Okay. The solution for that is a technology called IPS. The problem with IPS is you get excellent colors, excellent contrast, but you tend to get low refresh rates, so they're not good if you play games on your computer or you play videos. So it looks great if you're doing things like, moving the mouse puck around. That's fine. But for anything more than that, where you've got a high, like you'll start seeing lag and I've got some IPS monitors at work, and they're not very expensive and old, and so they look nice, bright, and clean. But I can literally see trails on my mouse or anytime I scroll the screen. So it is totally a thing. You've then got bit depth, so you've got to choose: do you want like a 10-bit? Do you want to have HDR? built in, which does, like a computer lookup, to, match color with HDR games that are available these days. Lightwave, I don't think supports that, but but it's a thing if you play computer games, having more bit depth. You've got the physical size, the resolution. So you've got like 4K. I don't think anybody's doing 8K yet, really, not realistically. And the main problem you've got if you go to 8K is it's probably your graphics card's not going to cope. There's very few, even the absolute top end graphics card before you can put an 8K display in.
Right.
And you might have problems with your HDMI connectors because you'll have to have an up to the minute HDMI connector. So you'll have to make sure you get expensive cables, as well as make sure your monitor can support it and your graphics card can support it. So 4K is probably about the top end that most people want to go to until they iron that out, because it's not actually solid yet, the 8K specification for HDMI. I think it's like 1.4. And so, yes, you just you start going down this rabbit hole of, so can I get a monitor that supports all of the things that I want? No. You have to choose. And that's where it becomes a bit of a headache. So I understand when people go, which monitor should I buy? I'm like, honestly, it depends. Because you've got things like, if you're doing a video editor, you're going to need to have a high refresh rate. If you want to do color work, you're going to need to have consider things like high bit depth, so that you don't get stepping in your display, or HDR possibly. But that can sometimes be a bit of a PR sort of thing, and it's not really HDR. So you've got to kind of check that all out. Generally speaking, the BenQ ones are quite good for that, but again, I don't know which one to recommend, and there's so many versions. So did that help make it more confusing than you were before?
Yeah, I think that's great. JS1000 says, but you have the possibility, and the picture quality is so much better. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, you've also got the other thing that other people have mentioned, of course, is backlight technology. You've also got different display technologies. You've got let's think. Well, you've got classic LCD, and you have LED lighting, which is probably about the best. You've also got OLED display technology, which doesn't have backlighting. The screen itself lights itself. But the downside with OLED, and this is where possibly if you've had an OLED display, that's organic LED, you can get screen burn. My phone has an OLED display, and it's about 3 years old now, and I can see on white screens, I can see my icons burnt into the screen.
Okay, so do me a favor. Talk about what is organic LED compared to
it's basically just it's a organic based molecule that glows a color depending on what current you put through it. A little bit like LCDs change their color based on the current that you put through it.
Right.
The advantage is it's much brighter and sharper and cleaner, but the downside is that you can get screen burn problems, because the technology is. You probably remember it. When you used to get those old TVs, and they used to get like if you were at next display at a shop, and the banner running across the bottom would be burnt in because it was just there 24/7, displaying the same thing. OLED are quite prone to screen burning, which is one of the reasons why I'm kind of like, well, why would I want to pay $1,000 to get a brand new phone, and then in another year I'll get screen burn? I don't really want to put the money out when I know I'll get the same problem again, and the specs haven't improved that much.
Right.
Mine's pretty good. It runs everything that I could possibly need. Absolutely perfectly. I haven't run out of memory. It's just a really good phone, but apart from the screen burn technology, and they haven't fixed that. There is new technology coming out, MLED, micro LED, where every single pixel is an LED, an individual one. That technology is not yet out because everybody's trying to do it, but it's a nightmare to do it at scale. They can make a handful. They can do like 10. You can have microscopic little LEDs. You see those little Japanese girls who have eyelashes with LED lights on the end of them, which is crazy because they can just make them that small. But it's crazy. But making an array of tens of thousands of them, which is what a screen is just basically slightly too hard at the moment.
But imagine that I can get like a wig where all the hair follicles is an LED light.
You probably can. You probably can. You can get some amazing things. Yeah, so that's the new technology. There's also a thing called quantum dot, which I'm not 100% sure on that. I read a lot about this, but the quantum dot, again, it's not quite there. And it's one of those things that sometimes it's a race, because somebody will say, the next big thing will be this, and then something just passes it by because it was easy to manufacture.
Right.
So there's probably a bit of a race on between quantum dot and MLED in terms of technologies. I think OLED are probably the nicest displays, just as I say. It's not a great one, because if you're like me, you probably had those monitors now for like 5 years. I've had mine probably well over 10 years. It's absolutely rock solid. You don't want to have to buy a monitor that in 2 years' time you're going to, oh, I can see the Windows bar burnt in the bottom of the screen. It's going to ruin it for when I want to do color accurate work. So it's a lot of things to think about, and I don't necessarily know. You just got to go into it with your eyes open, understand what all the terms mean, and all of the technology is. Probably about the best one in terms of refresh rate is probably the VA, the vertical alignment. It's basically the difference between it's the slightly cheaper to produce, much better refresh rate, more similar to TN displays.
Yeah.
But they changed the alignment of the crystal so you get a much wider viewing angle. And the reason I know about that is BenQ were one of the first makers to do that, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, so they've actually got ahead on that technology.
But it's 4K technology, right?
No, it's for any size. It's just a type, any size of monitor. It's just the technology that the screen's made out of. Just to
very
make it more
interesting.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. So, all right, all this talking about monitor, we're getting away from Lightwave here.
We are.
I know. I'll tell you what. I'll share what I'm working on, and then there's one new project I just started. Well, I didn't just start it. I've been going for a while, but I was so anal, I kept redoing it. I want to make sure I don't miss any questions here. He says, said that I never knew how confusing buying a monitor could be. Yeah, it could be. I mean, I simplify everything. I look at I want 4K, and I'm not a gaming guy, so I don't need the super refresh rates. But
you say that, but when I had my first IPS monitor at work, and I thought, oh, brilliant, it's IPS, even though it wasn't a great make and everything. And literally, I'm like scrolling the display going, what is that? Because my brain just immediately picked up on this weird ghosting artifact.
Yeah.
It drove me potty until my brain filtered it out, because you get used to it, but it really is bad. It's just that at work I don't play games. Obviously, I'm not supposed to anyway. So it was absolutely fine for my work, which is just doing like website work and photo touching, because the color and brightness is exactly what I would need. But you can get the more modern ones do have a high refresh rate. That's where you've got to look out for that. The other thing that you need to look out for is another rating that'll mean nothing. It's called nits, and that's basically just the contrast ratio and brightness of the screen. One of the things you'll see advertised is that a good screen display will look totally black when it's off, or when there's blackness, because you probably noticed that thing, when you turn your TV on, and even though there's nothing on the display, it's suddenly gone about 10% brighter than when it was off. Which is like a weird thing. And good displays will have a very, very high contrast ratio where black still looks black, and that's quite tricky to do.
Okay. So, all right. So, yeah, Curtis was mentioned that the newer IPS monitors don't ghost like the old ones.
Yeah, they are getting better. Definitely. Okay. I think I know some of the newer BenQ ones do say they've got a 1 millisecond to refresh time. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I think I'm getting cold now, so I will talk to you all guys later. And
okay.
Sorry about that. I told you I was probably going to get called away.
No worries. Okay. Well, now that means we can get back in the Lightwave now.
Do your Lightwave thing. All right.
All right. So I'll do some modeling stuff. All right. Maybe some of you guys have some of the solutions I have here. I'll just kind of share a little bit of what I've been working on. Matter of fact, what I should also bring up is another Yeah, I would do that. Just happened to think about this at the last minute. Let's go to get the enterprise. So again, I'm hired to do these custom parts. And I'm trying to remember the person I did this for. It's the enterprise. It was the not John. Oh, I guess it wouldn't be him. It was Chuck Brooks was the client. Oh, I'm not. There we go. My mouse kind of froze there for a second. It is the impulse drive, which is weird. Why can't I find this darn thing? Okay, it's under enterprise. That I know. All right. So Rex. Let's do David Alexander. I'll show you that one too. So I'm doing a full build of the enterprise as well. I'm definitely going to show you that. But let me. I'm trying to remember where I put my little impulse engine thing. That's very interesting. I swore I put it under the enterprise category. All right, can't remember. So I'll play with this for a second. So I'm building these model kits. I think I started talking about this one last Sunday. Didn't get to finish it up. So this is the top and bottom of the warp nacelle, and it's designed so that the artist or the 3D modeler can actually put lights in here. So this is all open ribbing, as you can see, but it's also open ribbing in the back for the end of the cells, as you can see here. Let me go ahead and just select one of these and get in close. So this is the thing that drives me crazy about modelers. So if I am back away from here, and again, you guys may have a solution for this as well. And if I want to zoom in really close to something, you see how it clips off like that? If there is a preference that I'm not seeing in Modeler, let me know, and I can go in there, and I know there is, and I've forgotten where it is, but no, if you know where I can actually eliminate that issue, let me know. But the quick way of doing it is just selecting a polygon like so, and just hitting Shift A will zoom in, and then gives me the ability to get in really close as I want. All right. So that was always a workaround for this. And then whatever polygon that I choose, the Shift A will automatically make that the rotation point, which is kind of nice. So you can see the ribbing back in here too, so that the user can put lights right behind it, and it'll shine out to the back end. So usually when I'm designing this stuff, I'm thinking of ways in which they may want to put in sound cards or lights, and then it also has to the clip on to their existing model. So I'll show you the model kit that this is being built for. It was polar lights. I'll kind of give you an idea what I'm up against. So polar lights, Enterprise B. Okay, here it is. So that's all right. So that's the ship. So what they've hired me to do was to do a different nacelle. And they also hired me to do a different deflector dish. I'll show you that one as well. So they sent me the actual model kit, and then I have to figure out a way to attach it to this area here where the nacelles are attached to. I don't know exactly what they're called, but I have to design it so that it'll attach to it naturally, but utilize the new design that I'm going to create. All right, so what I've done is, and the model is gone. I've already completed the job and sent it to the client. So I don't have the model here to kind of show you physically. But here is the connected area. Basically, I created just a square indentation in here, because basically the flaps come up and there's a little piece that actually fits right into the warp nacelle that you glue together. So what I would do is I'll probably take what I ended up doing is just taking this little piece here, hitting the E key on the keyboard, and I love this new transform feature. So it's the Alt or Option T on the keyboard, which gives you this 3D widget. Okay, so the thing that bugs me about the 3D widget, if you're using any 3D program, any other 3D program like Blender or Maya or whatever, well, Blender and Maya are prime examples. And if I select a polygon, that 3D widget automatically centers it, dead center of that polygon. That's what I want this to do. So when I select the surface, I want that 3D widget to align itself dead center and align itself accurately to the surface, so I can move it in X, Y, and Z axis locally, right? So what I can do is two things I can do. I can hold down the Control key or the Command key and move it and line it up myself, or I can I can go to the subject and hold the Shift key down and click on the polygon, and it'll automatically center it. It'll be dead center. But my grievance is that I want this to happen automatically by default. So if I select something and I hit Alt T, automatically, boom, it goes there. And if I want to manually move it around, I can go to the Control or Command key and move that around. Okay. That's right. Origin or blah, blah, I can't even talk today. At origin of local selection. That's correct. That's what I'm looking for. So it's not doing it by default. But a shift click on anywhere. If I can shift click here, right? So if I come over here to this polygon there, shift click there, it'll align to that, or there, it'll align it to whatever surface that I click on. All right. I want it to the highlighted red. The highlighted red means that is the subject, that is the polygon or surface that I pre-selected before I went into the navigational, the transformation mode, right? So shift click on this will line it up dead center. So now from here, this is the area that I'm going to want the nacelle connector to kind of like mount to. So then I'll just go to my Y axis and pull it down. And then I've just created that opening there so that they can put in the nacelle connector and put the glue in there, or resin or whatever they're using to glue it together. And it's going to work. So I'm absolutely loving that 3D widget concept. I'm using it religiously. And what that does too is it allows us to work much more effectively in perspective only. I don't have to rely on my 3D views or my 4 views anymore. I can pretty much just work here the entire time with the integration of the 3D widget tool. Okay, so JS1000 mentioned, that's strange. Yours does. See, mine doesn't. I'll do it again. For example, I want to take this piece here. Let's bevel into it a little bit. Hit the B key on the keyboard. Command key, so I can restrict the movement for the inset and move it to the left. See, there's my. Oops, I went too far. So there's my inset, and let's see. I want to kind of just extrude it out a little bit. Okay, so I'll leave it selected. Hit the B key again to commit my bevel, and then Alt or Option T. And it automatically highlights that red. See, it doesn't do it automatically. I mean, try it on your version of Lightwave. Just select the poly somewhere, and then hit your Alt T and see if it automatically goes. But on mine, it doesn't. Not unless there's a preference in there that I'm missing, that I'm not aware of. Okay, so JS1000 says that they're fiddling with it. All right. So, but if I hold the shift key down and click on it, boom, it does it. And it matches the alignment. So Command A to fit selected into view. See, it lines it up perfectly, right? So now I can take this and extrude that out. Or let's do this. Let's extrude it out. Then hit the E key on the keyboard and extrude that out, right? And then I can go to the resize option. So I can work completely in perspective now. I don't have to rely on any of the other views at this point, which is the way you work in most 3D programs nowadays. Because they allow you to do 4 views, but they pretty much want you to work inside of the one view. All right, so I'm going to hit the enter key to commit my changes, and there you go. It's all done. And something else I wish Modeler would do change for Modeler is if I'm going to deselect something, I have to go to the borders or the edge to do it. I should be able to click just inside here and let it deselect. That would be kind of nice. If any of the new tech people are here kind of listening. Let's see. Multi-shift. So Rotsrig says they use multi-shift for beveling. Yeah, I do that too. I use multi-shift when I have multiple polygons selected, primarily. Multi-shift can be used for multiple or single. It doesn't matter. Basically, it's probably multi-shift is just a new way of beveling things out. Or more the modern way of beveling things out and adding more geometry. Okay, so another caveat that I've learned, I played around with I usually build my own greebles or greeblies or doodads or whatever you want to call them. I usually build my own, but I decided to try these, right? I found a greebly pack and I put them on. All right. So here's something. I mean, especially now remember, I'm 3D printing this stuff out. So all the little tricks and stuff that you're going to be doing for surfacing on your models obviously can't work here because every little doodad, every little greeble, every little surface has got to be modeled in. No discussion in the story. That's the way it is. So all that beautiful detail that you see on like CG starships that are mostly bump maps or normal mapping won't work here. That means all that detail that's normally built into bump maps or normal maps, you got to build it in physically with your geometry, actual geometry, which I find challenging and fun, right? So here's some greeblies on there. I played around with some greeblies. And again, I normally don't do that. I normally model my own greeblies, but here's some. I figured I'll give these a little try. So everything in black is a greebly. I think I only used one. I only used one greebly. Or is it? Let me see. Hold up, got it here. I used about 3 greeblies. So all the ones that are in black are the greeblies. The pack from a different greebly pack. I ended up having to redo my greeblies by scratch, and you're going to see why in just a little bit. All right, I'm going to export this out to an STL. I've got everything set up in my secondary menu. I assume everybody knows how to create this secondary menu from scratch. If you don't, I'll be happy to go over it. Just let me know in the chat box that you would like me to do that. Person says there's a setting where you can double click and deselect. Oh, really? Really? All right. So if I select something, oh, there it is. Oh, hell, I didn't know that. There you go, guys. I was wrong. You can do it. You just got to double click. Well, you couldn't do it before. So this must be a recent update. At least I'm going to say it's a recent update, so I don't feel too much like an idiot. Okay, cool. Okay, that's great. See, I'm glad I'm doing this. I'm glad I'm doing this, and Andrew's not. Why didn't you tell me that, Andrew? You can double click to deselect. He's probably not there. He's probably having dinner, but this will be recorded. Okay, I'm gonna export this out. Boom KV is here. Hey, welcome. At this moment, you personally feel stupid. Let me see what Gloom KV. Yeah, no problem. Curtis Rose says double click the deselect was added in 2018. So yes, I was right. It's a fairly recent ad. Before you can never do that. So that was the problem is when New Tech adds these things in there, like stupid little things like that, because you've been using it for so many years, like over 10 years, you don't realize that that's actually a feature. So you keep using it the old way, and you don't have to use it the old way. Double click. Oh, this is great. I love it. See, now this made my day. Just this little piece of knowledge here just made my day. Okay, great. All right. Buster66 says learning that was worth the price. I know, exactly. I agree. That's kind of like, oh hell, man. You can actually do it now. Pixelato says double click deselect. Who knew? No more clicking the bottom. Exactly. I mean, I was doing that to this day. It's like click the bottom of the board. This is stupid. I shouldn't have to do that. This is just dumb. I mean, I shouldn't have to double click, right? I can multiple select and double click. Nice. Okay. All right. That's going to speed up things a little bit because it's interesting how moving of navigating the circumference of your interface just slows you down. And that's why those shortcuts are so important. All right. Let me show you what happens if I export this. I'm going to go ahead and select that whole thing back there. I accidentally put that in. I'm going to delete it. All right. I'm going to go to STL, go to my menu, export that as an STL. All right. Keep everything the same. And then Enterprise B, I've got an SPL export already. So I got a test. I don't want to use that. Let me go to the STL export, and we're going to put it here. Twitch test. Something we'll remember. All right, cool. So I want to make sure that it is now. If I can move the model again, that means it's exported out completely. If your model is frozen while it's exporting to the STL, and it will, depending on the amount of polygons that are involved, that means it's still exporting. So don't go exporting it out and then go to your 3D printing program to go get it when it's not quite completed exporting. Once you're able to move your model around normally, that means it's completed exporting. Okay, so let's go to my Cura, which is my 3D printing program. And I'm going to get it to open up, and there it is. Okay, so let's see. Person says, I've always have used the keyboard shortcut to deselect it, so it's not much of a use to me. But now you don't have to use a keyboard shortcut to deselect it. Now you can just double click. Just 1000 says it's always been kind of annoying, and now when there's an easier way, no one it's true. That is what New Tech has been guilty of. Is that they do these upgrades to make them competitive with current packages, but they don't tell anybody. There's no real strong, solid documentation that makes the community aware. It's not like, not like the ZBrush guys where there's like a million tutorials on how to do the same thing in 1,000 different ways, and it's all out there, right? New Tech has not been very good on this public education of its upgrades. Let's see. Pixelato says I'm double clicking, deselecting right now 100 times so I don't forget tomorrow. Yes, keep clicking, baby. All right, let's have some fun. Here's my 3D software, right? Cura. It's free. Where do you get it from? Let's go here. It's by, let's see, Cura is by, I'm forgetting the name of the company. I'll find out. I'll just put in Cura. Okay, 3D printing's Ultimaker. That is it. Ultimaker makes Cura, right? And under the software, you can download free. You can download a whole bunch of different versions. So if version 4.8 is the reason, you can go to your previous ones, and right below the link for this, you see find previous versions, right? So I'm going to click on it. Now, you've got alpha versions and beta versions, and then of course your stable versions. I'm going to give you my personal recommendation. Don't use these upgrades. I'm going to show you the one that I use, and I'm going to tell you why I use it. I'm going to go back to previous. Oh, previous. Where's okay, I'm going to go to next. 4.4. There we go. I have to go to next. Okay, next is going down the number. I go next. I'm gonna go down the number. Down. Okay, there we go. Now, version 4.0 is what you want. I'm gonna tell you why. And I've got 4.8 on here. I'm gonna show you in just a minute. 4.0 beta, and then the stable version here. And you can it's in zip and targa for it'll do Linux, it'll do Apple, and it will do Windows platforms. Okay, so you want the 4.0 for those of you guys out there who's going to decide to start printing your work, and I'll share with you the printing the printers that I recommend that you should get for this. I'm using something called Creality, and I'll show that to you as well. Now, 4.0, I'm going to go to here. I'm going to go download this. I'm in 4.0. Just to prove it, help menu about 4.0 right there. Okay, download this, and we're going to go to my Lightwave Enterprise. I want the Enterprise B STL export Twitch test. Okay, it's going to take a minute to down. It's loading. It's saying it's loading, and there she is. It's big. It's really that square little piece down there, dark gray piece, is the actual flatbed of my 3D printer. So this was exported out really big. So I click on it, come over to the side, go to my scale option, and I got a 3D widget for it. I'll just click on the 3D widget and just make it small like that. And boom. I want to make sure that it fits within the plate. So Control Plus, right? And or hold the space bar key, allows me that nice smooth zooming, moving my cursor up and down. That works. Hold the shift and click, and that pans. Space bar. There you go. All right, so make it a little smaller. Oops. It's being sensitive to me. Gosh, that's really bizarre. Here, we'll do it this way. We're gonna take it down, not 100%. That's 1,000%, right? Also, we put 100%. Let's see what happens. Okay, so we're gonna take it down to like 10%. There we go. We'll go down to like 6%. There we go. That'll fit in there. Right click, and I'm gonna center the model. Boom. There it goes. It's still hanging off a little bit. So go back to my sizing and go 4%. That was a really big one. There we go. 5%. Make it a little bigger. There it is. That fits. See? Now, the red areas that you're seeing here in the bottom are the areas that's going to be attached to the bed. So I'm designing all my 3D sources so that they can fit flat to the bed. That was why I split it up so that you can print two halves, and then you glue them together. And of course, inside the two halves is hollow for the user to put in lights, right? Okay. All right. So we're in Cura 4.0. Look at the time here. 8 hours and 31 minutes to print, right? But I'm printing it at a high resolution. If I go to the quality tab, I'm going to cascade all these tabs here so it's easier for you to see. All right, close them all up. Okay, I'm going to pull this down. All right, so for the quality, in other words, how much resolution, how tight do I want the resolution to be, right? So I'll go to quality here, drop it down, and I've got 0.1 or 1/10 of a millimeter layer height. That's your layer height. That determines the resolution. So if I want something draft resolution, I can go to 0.3 or 0.2. I want tight resolution, 0.1. I can go up to 0.07, right? And let's see how long it's going to take. It's going to slicing it down here. Slicing it means it's literally slicing it into layers. And it's going to print each layer at a time. All right, there we go. Look, 12 hours. And a lot of my models are actually that. They're 12 hours. They're anywhere from a minimum to 6 to on up to print, right? So I want a high resolution. So if I want really tight resolution, I go to 0.07. I usually don't do that. I'm usually printing at 0.1 for the majority of my clients. All right, so we go back to 0.1. It's slicing again because it's got to recalculate everything. 8 hours and 31 minutes. All right, now this is Cura version 4, all free software. It is the best on the market for filament printing 3D machines. It is the very best, and it's free. All right, comments here. Let's see. Oh, that's another comment. All right, so quote from 2020 Docs, new in Lightwave 2015 is a double. Oh, 2015. Oh man, we are idiots, aren't we? The double click for some 2015. This gives you a possibility to double click on any empty space of monitor. Thank you, Parsons 2018. Thank you. Pixelato. I think everybody's seeing my feed okay. Yeah, working fine. It's working fine here because I'm watching it as you guys are watching it on another monitor. So it's good. So it's probably just your bandwidth. Okay, good. Pixelato saying refresh to the trick. Okay, cool. He's cool. All right. So now let's go. I'm going to save this out. All right. And it's going to save it out into a format that Cura understands. So into its native format. So I can open it up into another version of Cura and show you what's going to happen. All right. So I'm going to go File menu, save this project. I think I've got Enterprise. There it is. It went right back to my Enterprise one. That's the 3D prints. Right. I got a folder just for 3D prints, Enterprise John. So we're going to call this one Twitch Test. All right. And save it as a .3mf file. Okay. So that's your native Cura format. It's done. Now, I'm going to go open up the latest version of Cura. Keep in mind, 8 hours and 31 minutes. So come up to here. Let's go to Cura. I'll just search it really fast. There's the 4.8 version. I got 4.7 as well. 4.8 is the one we're going to get. That's the latest, greatest version. And yes, so JS1000 says, yeah, you should read the documentation, but what fun would that be? Isn't it better to just kind of go and play with it and just be surprised at what you discover? Okay, so 4.8 is opening. It's trying to open. All right, so let's see. Where is she? There she is. All right, it opened up on another monitor. It's not responding, guys. It is not. It might be because the other one's open, I think, or it's broke. It's one of the two. Keep in mind, 8 hours and 31 minutes. All right. So I'm going to close this one out. And what I'm going to do is this. And I'm sorry I have to do this, but I think we'll have to uninstall 4.8. I think that was broken. So I'm going to just search real quick. Cura. And I want the, I might be able to do with the 4.7. Here, I'll tell you what, I'll do with the 4.7. Let's see if I can get that one to work. 4.7. Open it up. Then I don't have to uninstall the other one. See, 4.7 is, okay, something's happening. Good, there we go. So we'll let that open up. So I'll keep chatting along here while that's opening up. What's happening is in these great later versions of Cura is that it's taking a lot longer time to print these models. So there it is, 4.7, right? It's telling me automatically that there's a 4.8, but the time is the same in terms of the model printing. Now, we're going to go bring in the model that I just created. And I'm going to bring in the model with all the original settings that the Cura 4.0 had applied to it. And you do it this way. If I open it up with the open folder here, there's my Twitch test there. If I double click it, it's going to ask me, do I just want to import the models or open it as a project? Now, what open as a project means is that all those settings that were supplied in Cura 4.0 that got it to print 8 hours and 31 minutes are going to be applied to this version, right? If all you want to do is keep the current settings that you've got, but just import the models, you can import the models. I want the project. I'm going to click it and say, okay. I'm just checking. It is my CR10S, and I'll share that with you in just a little bit too, what I'm using for 3D printer. There it is, right? So it's slicing. It's slicing. It's slicing. And look at my time. 10 hours and 3 minutes compared to 8 hours and 31 minutes. Now, oftentimes I find that the time differential is often significant with other models. So there's something going on in the newer versions of the software that is taking a lot longer to print. If you work with version 4.0, it significantly speeds up the process, I've discovered. So if you're going to get into 3D printing, especially filament printing, use the 4.0. And I'm keeping my eye on their versions just to see if there's any improvement on speed. So far, I haven't seen any. All right, so let's do something else. What I want to do is I want to preview this. Let's get in closer. All right, now, and this is what I'm going to show you next is kind of a testament to those custom greeblies that you might want to apply to your models that you can buy. So the question is, how accurate is the time estimate? It depends. I find it to be pretty accurate. From time to time, I'll notice inaccuracies, but they're getting better and better, the software. So it's fairly accurate. I can, if it's going to take 3 hours, I can pretty much depend on it'll be about 3 hours or thereabouts. There's a little bit of fudging in there, but thereabouts. Okay, so I'm going to, now what I want to do, I want to see the slices. So remember, it's slicing, is doing everything in slicing. So if I go over to preview the slice, we'll go to the preview tab here. All right, so now you preview. Now this is what's happening. Look at the model. See that? See those open spaces in there? Basically, the model's broke as a result of those greeblies because they're not designed for 3D printing. All right? It's messed up my model. So this is why I have a tendency to design my own greeblies so that everything is airtight. And that's the rule. Everything's got to be airtight for this to work. So if I want to see how it's actually going to build itself, pull that down, pull that back a little bit, layer by layer. Right here, let me go ahead and kind of pull that up there. Right here is my layer preview, right? So if I slide it down, layer by layer by layer, it appears at the very top, it's telling you that you've got 91 layers. It'll be different for every model, but you can see how it's actually going to be modeling or printing every section of this piece. Is that making sense? So it's a fun little process. But anyways, let's go back into Lightwave. So just be aware of that. We could drop this on out. So going back into Lightwave, there we go. I had to redesign this because I had to take all of these greeblies out and create my own. All right, so I'll show you another. I definitely want to show you the enterprise that I'm working on. But I most definitely would also like to show you. I'm trying to remember who I did the work cells for. Let's see. We've got Enterprise, Starship, Lightwave. And I did. You know what? That was for Chuck Brooks, wasn't it? No, it wasn't. That was for Chris Hicks. There it is. Found it. Under the client's name. All right. So I'm going to go to Object. And we'll go to the last one. All right. So this client wanted a complete impulse engine redesign for the Starship Enterprise, for the Constitution class Enterprise. So all done in Lightwave, all modeled in Lightwave. I'm going to go ahead and open it up. Give it a little bit of a minute. And he sent the saucer is about maybe 18 inches, no, 16 inches diameter. It's big and it's heavy. So they have to actually send me the actual parts and the actual model so that I can match the details. It's still opening up here. It's I think this one was a lot of information, but that'll be coming up in just a little bit. All right, no other questions there. Just kind of check it out. Questions there. There she is. All right. Okay, so let's go to my layers. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this one out. Don't save it. And we can focus on the impulse drive. Give it a little bit. Lightwave is just bogging down just a little bit. Must be a lot of polys in that one. So we'll give it a little bit to stop acting up. So I like, there she is. All right, let's see, STL export. All right, so the dome, I'll do that. What was that for? Yeah, I think that was. Here, we'll kind of go through each layer. Because I forget, it's been a while since I've been here. So I forget. Let's take off the wire And I believe this was the STL file that I actually imported back in. There we go. All right, so I did half. And this one here is the one. These are all my custom design greeblies. And it's designed so that it's open. It's going to attach to the back of the saucer section, which is what you're seeing here. And I had to kind of like print this several times, playing around with the sizing of the piece to make sure it fit perfectly on the edge of the saucer section to the back of the Enterprise. So, but I did design it so that the lights can come up through the top, and also lights can be in the back, so that maybe a red lighting or an orange glow can be coming out of the back for the impulse energy exhaust. And then all of that was just greeblies I designed into the top piece. Really came out wonderful. I might have a printed piece available here. But above that, you can see is that, let's go to the top there. There it is. Now there it is mirrored. So that's the final piece the client's going to get when printed out. Really fun stuff. And can be challenging because you have to match the actual model piece the model is going to connect to. On top is some clear PLA. So I'm printing with PLA overall. As you can see, most of this would probably be dealt with in the CG world with bump mapping or UV mapping, not UV mapping, but normal mapping. Here, you have to model everything, which gives it a visual look that's much more dynamic. It's kind of fun. If I go to the top of the dome, I'm going to go ahead and turn on that layer there. Oop, wrong one. I'm looking for there it is. Should be the dome fill. That's probably it. I'll click on that one. That is not it. All right, so there's a little dome that goes on top of this. I'm just trying to find it. As I just saw it not long ago. Okay, there's the piece, and let's go to the dome final. I'm assuming that's it there. There it is. Okay, way too big. Let me just go to the bottom, turn that one on. And it must be the resize one on the bottom. See, it's been a while since I've been back to this model. So let's go turn that one on there. Turn that one off. Okay, so you can see this dome here is going to sit on top of this. So that's going to be printed in clear. Actually, let's go ahead and just click on the dome itself. So this is going to be printed in clear. It could be a red clear or a blue clear, so that when they put lights underneath it, it's going to glow. And if they want to, they can paint the ribbing whatever they want, so that all the surrounding areas underneath the ribbing will glow with the LED lights from underneath it. So yeah, that was another little project. And then I'll bring up. I would definitely want to bring up the new Enterprise. I want to get you guys' thoughts on it. But I'm realizing that it's time for that 15-minute break that we normally do. And we'll do that first, and then I'll bring up the new stuff that I'm working on. Okay, cool. All right. So let's go ahead and just hit that, leave the page, go maximize. All right, so 15-minute break. It's like 11:30 already. We'll come back, and I'll show you some of the newer stuff I'm working on. And I've got modeling questions for you guys as well. All right, cool. Take a little snack break, bathroom break, whatever you like, and we'll be back when the timer ends. Rotsreg says he needs an old man nap. I don't think we're getting that old just yet. We're not there just yet. All right, I'll come right back. Had to get one of my grain-free bars. These things are great. Blender Royale, go chair. Talking about my chair. So we're going to be doing a giveaway today too for the 1 year Creative Cloud Suite and the Photoshop Workshop. Got 5 minutes to go. I just got a little post from somebody from Facebook, which reminds me I need to show you guys the Excelsior class deflector dish. They're interested in purchasing the deflector dish for the Excelsior class 1/1000 scale, which is what I was designing those warp nacelles for. I'll definitely bring up that dish. And Andrew is gone. All right, I'm going to put on here anybody who wants to jump on and share, and you're willing to share a demo reel or something. If you like, if you have a demo reel, go ahead and post it into the chat box. I'm really liking the StreamYard. What's nice is that you can now share video. So if you have a video on your system, you can tell it to share your video. Two minutes left. I'm going to send out a little notification to Facebook here. I think Facebook has changed their platform a little bit, haven't they? Because it used to be I can send out notices to groups, and it gives me a little button next to each group that I wanted to send out to, and I click the button and it's done. Now they're making you do it individually again. One minute left. And while I text stuff out to people. All right. Okay, now everybody's coming back. It's so funny, right? When it gets to the end of the 1 minute countdown, it's like the numbers pop up on the form. Okay, we won't go through the whole alarm thing. We'll go ahead and stop this here. Here, let me bring up the other one. Command. In fact, we're done sharing this one. Let me go and close everything out real quick in Lightwave. Don't save anything. Okay, give it a little minute. Well, Lightwave acting a little slow today, responding. Let's give it a minute to drop down. Okay, and then we're going to get back. Boy, it's just going to be frozen. So I want to show you something else. I'm going to show you the full build enterprise and some modeling in terms of modeling grout into things. You know what I'm doing for that. Some little tricky things I've discovered. Okay, Lightwave is acting up. So I'm going to go ahead and just use the operating system task manager just to shut it down completely. I don't know what's going on with Modeler. All right, I'm shutting it down. All right, done. All right, let's go back to Modeler, open it up again. Drives me nuts when it does that. Shouldn't do that. All right, so open. Let's go back to my Lightwave projects and enterprise, John. And then over to my objects folder, we've got, let's see, so this is a new folder here. Enterprise, oh, I don't know why I name these things the way that I do sometimes. So enterprise, warp nacelle, I don't want the nacelle. It must be one of these here. That's the stand. Okay, so warp nacelle, stand. All right, what I'm looking for is a deflector dish for you guys. So it's called the hull, I believe. Actually, it may be in a new folder. Let me try this one out here. Like naming things is critical. Naming things in a way that you know you're going to remember is critical. And evidently, I didn't do that here. All right, so let's give it a minute to pop up the model. Let's see, no questions, no comments. Okay, Roots Rag. Oh, good. Roots Rag, you are in the stream. You can use your mic.
Woohoo.
Hey, welcome, man. Finally. What took you so long?
Oh, yeah. Figuring out microphones. Who knew it could be so hard?
Oh, I know. There we go. Boy, I tell you what, Lightwave is really acting slow. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so, and all right, do me a favor and share your screen. So on the bottom, you got the share the screen icon.
Okay.
And once you start sharing, I can log it in anytime.
Share screen.
All right, share your screen.
If I allow it.
Yes, you got to allow it. Got to do that.
That was my problem before.
Very, very interesting. Lightwave is really acting up today. Wow. Come on, guys. Just shut it down again. Has anybody had this problem with Lightwave from time to time? And you end up having to go and clean out the preferences? I'm gonna try one more time. Okay, good. I see your screen. Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna add you to the stream in just a moment. I want to see if I can get. Okay, there's Lightwave. But you know what the problems I've been having with Lightwave is that I'm going to go to the enterprise model that I'm doing now. Okay, so enterprise, David Alexander, the one that I know works perfectly fine. Kind of give you an idea. There we go. See, that's just fine. There we go. Yeah, that's working just fine. All right, I've got 3 monitors on my screen. If I'm using one monitor, Lightwave works perfectly on it. If I switch it over to the second or the third monitor, it crashes religiously. So I'm streaming from the monitor that's going to work. So I'm working on a new design for the enterprise. This is going to be a large. The hull is going to be like 18 inches in diameter. It's going to be big. And I have to 3D print this out. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing so far. Let's go over here to the layers. So I have to strategize how I'm going to print this out as I'm designing this stuff. So top saucer, right? You can see the grouts in there, and I'm going to turn off the. I'll tell you what. I'll go ahead and turn this off and just do the texture only. There we go. So you can actually see the detail in here. All right, and I'll share what I'm doing in terms of getting that detail in there. Okay, this is the top saucer. So I'm modeling it, and you can see the ground plane there. So I'm modeling it so that all of this is going to be 2 halves, the top half and the bottom half. As you can see, it's all open. Now, I still have to punch in the windows through here. So I always do that. The very last thing I do is putting in the windows. I'll do one group of one shape, and then I'll multiply that shape throughout the ship and within strategic locations on the ship. Okay, so bottom half of the saucer section, top half of the saucer section. Now the inputs, I'm going to put them together, so the top and bottom together. So what I've done, saucer section of the new, it's basically they gave me creative license on it. So I've used a little bit of the inspiration from the Discovery, the Starship Discovery, because I love the idea of having like a ring, kind of a separate ring going around the whole section as part of the design. That had always fascinated me. This is going to be for the this is the bridge up here, obviously, and I kind of did some indentations. So I used the lathe command, but I'm also using a lot of I'm modeling using subdivision surfaces. So let's see if I've got the bridge top. I think I've got the top saucer there. I think that is still in subdivision surface. Let me go to the wire view there. Yeah, this is still in subdivision surfaces. This top one, the final one, is not. That has been frozen. And I'm going to tell you why in just a moment. I'm going to show you why in just a moment. So then what I can do is I can control the angle and the quality of the curve using subdivision surfaces. I find this to be a lot easier to deal with. If I've got my bridge dome here, to fit inside. Let me just kind of go in here and select the dome, and I'm hitting my shift bracket to the right. There we go. Now it's selected. Now hit my Command A, pull that on. So that's going to fit. Now this dome here is going to be printed in clear. Well, it won't be. It'll be a translucent red PLA. So that'll be modeled as a separate piece, and that'll go right up here at the top. Okay. All right. So then the impulse drive, I'm going to add that on next. I want the impulse drive mirror to be exact. There we go. Okay, now that's a separate layer there. So all the details and agreeables I have not, they're all going to be in separate layers, just in case the client wants to make a decision that they want more or less, or maybe a different style, then nothing's modeled into the ship. I avoid that as much as possible, as long as all the polys are all airtight, right? Which means that they're all completely closed. They will be seen by a 3D program and modeled as if it's integrated into the object. I still got to add details for the impulse back of the impulse engines, the exhaust section of the impulse engine. I've got lots of greeley details that's going to go all over. I still have to model all of the escape pods that are also part of the detail of the hull. That's going to go all the way around, all types of lights of detail. But this gives me the basic shape, the basic design is pretty much laid out. There we go. And then what I did also on this one is I added in a nice little open space around the edge. We get so many starships where it's just kind of flat. It comes straight on down flat. And I think I've got one of those. I think it's this one here. There it is. Okay, so there's the whole piece. This is how I designed the whole piece as one piece initially. And then I split it up into two halves. But you can see here how it comes flat straight on down, which I wanted something a little more interesting. So I went ahead and just modeled it in. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of the wire view so you can go to the pure view model. Inside here are going to be all your windows going all the way across. So the designer or the modeler that I'm building this for is going to be able to put lights and stuff inside and light everything, and there's going to be some interior that I'm actually going to build into this piece as well. So I'll have some areas that'll have larger window of viewing, maybe 10 forward, like you had on the Enterprise, the Galaxy class Enterprise. I'll have a big window for that in the front, and I'll design the interior space inside the ship. So you light it up. He's going to paint it, all the details, but then you light it up, you get to see some interior in there as well. Let me go ahead and put the impulse engine on mirrored. There we go. The body, I'm just making a final decision on the design for that. Let me share that real quick. There's the body there. Okay. The neck, I haven't decided, and the warp nacelles and the connectors for the warp nacelles, I haven't decided completely. I've got some ideas where I want to go with it. But it's got to be slick. It's got to be interesting. Let's go to the bridge dome. Put the dome. Oh, the dome got moved to the side a little bit. Accidentally. No big deal. We'll just kind of like take that and select it. And go to my Alt T for my my navigational tools. For this, and then what I'll do here is I'll come up here to the top, shift click there. That should help a little bit. I think. Here, control key, rotate this around to the front just to navigate. Okay, so now I can kind of move this back, move this forward. Okay. That works. All right, now I'll move it back down just so we can get a better view of how this is going to look. It's like that. Shift A, no, that's not working. This thing drives me nuts too. Is the Shift A doesn't always work on the 3D widget thing. So I'm going to pull this to the side. There you go. Okay. All right. Let's stop that and let's rotate it around. Okay. So I've got a lot more details to model in here. Now these rivets, these grids, had a little bit of a challenge with them. So let me see if I can find one. That's the saucer. Let me see if this is in subdivision mode or if it's in, okay, it's in subdivision mode. There is another top saucer, bottom saucer. There's one that I did, and it may be up here. Okay, here, I'll tell you what. I will go ahead and take that top saucer, just copy it, put it down here, and just go from scratch in terms. I'm going to freeze this, and then I'm going to put in the grout. So Command D to freeze it. There we go. I model everything so that I'm working in subpatch. Now I'm in Catmo Clark now, but I like to work in subpatch at first, and then go to Catmo Clark later. All right, so it's frozen, so I want to put grids in here. So here's the challenge that I found. I'm gonna go over here and grab this and move it across. Okay, so I'm using like the actual lines. I'll do like a couple of these here. And I'm hitting the arrow key on the keyboard, so I'm selecting a couple of them. I'll do one more. I'll select a couple of these, and then in the direction of the flow of the line, hit the arrow key to the right, and it's going to select the loop. I've got the loops going on here. Now, I can also, I'm going to go ahead and select these here and select some of these here, just kind of give you an idea where I'm going with this. Now, I discovered something inside of Lightwave. So there's a command in Lightwave where let me put it this way. If I take, if I want to take those green lines and I want to extend them outwards a little bit, in other words, I want to create polys from these green lines or a flat poly surface, I'm going to have to use a command like chamfer, right? Now, once it chamfers it, it keeps it as an edge. I want that edge to become a poly. So there's a little bit of a workaround in Lightwave that I had a little problem with that Ken 9 actually, he and I kind of worked it out a little bit a couple of nights ago. So if I take this and go to the, let's see, I'm going to go to the chamfer command, which is Control B on your keyboard. Okay, so it's getting close over to here. Control B. Okay, it's going to highlight my lines, and I'm going to just click and drag to the right, and there we go. It's starting to, that's going to be the nature of my grout. All right. Now, if we're doing this in CG, of course, you're going to use image maps or specular maps to create the effect of a grout. But we're not in CG. We're in the world where we need to 3D model this. And I want that grout to kind of go into the ship. So I'm going to just drag it as far as I wanted to go. I'm thinking something like this, and then hit the enter key. So what we get is more of these lines. So we have this command in Lightwave where you can change your edges to become to selected poly surfaces or selected points, right? I've got it set up in my drop menu here. Okay, somebody just spam gem. Hey, okay, so Sign Lab, I missed your question there. I'm going to just post this real quick before I go further. What's the largest size you can print in one piece? 20 inches. So the biggest 3D printer I have is a 20 by 20 by 20 cube space. The second, the one just below that is a 12 by 12 by 14. So between those two printers, I can print a lot of stuff. And then somebody was mentioning the comment about Lightwave crashing. Second monitor is reported issue with a possible resolution. Good. All right. Hopefully they have the resolution out pretty quickly. If I go to my menu, I'm gonna go to my select option, and I've got point selection and poly selection, right? If I go to poly selection, nothing happens. However, if I go to point selection, something happens. And then when I go from point selection, I'm going to go to poly selection. Now we've got what we want. So now I can come in here, give it a surface. I'll say grout, right? And then we'll give a grout a different color. Here we'll make it red, just so it's easy to see. Okay, so there's my grout. So now I can take the grout in. I'm going to kind of move it here at an angle. Hitting the E key for extend. So it's made another set of polygons. Alt or Option T. And then what I'll do is, it's already set up for the widget to go straight down. So I'm going to leave the widget where it is. And then just take it and push it down, and there's my grout, right? So that's how I'm designing all the grout in my starships. Or paneling. I can do paneling the exact same way, right? I might even just take it down just a teeny bit more just for the fun of it. Right. There we go. And then hit enter. It's done. And it's all modeled in. So I know the process. So I do like that idea that you can actually switch from your points to your edges to your polys. But if you're going to go from edges to polys, you have to go to points first and then the polys. Then it'll work. The way it should work, in my opinion, is once you have the edges selected, you should be able to go straight to poly and it'll work. But it's not. So just, I'm not sure if anybody's ever tried that method. I'm just curious. So Mausky Blue, I guess that's how you pronounce it. Maui Sky Blue. Maui Sky Blue. Thank you. Kind of going, wow. So yes, I do want to know the span gem. I do want to know the resolution to that for the monitor. What is it? I'm assuming you're talking about when Lightwave switches to a second or third monitor, it crashes. I most definitely want to know the resolution to that. It's all new. Okay, yeah, I am on the NVIDIA card. I am, by the way. So we got, is it Rotsrag? Is that how you pronounce it?
Close enough.
All right,
no,
cool.
no, that is it. That is it.
That is it?
My nickname is Garstor, and so I just flip it around to make Rotsrag out of it.
That's great. So I'm going to share your screen.
Okay. Hopefully that's Lightwave.
Oh, yeah, it's Lightwave. Yes. I see it. Perfect, man. All right. So, all right, go ahead. Go ahead. Take it away. Go ahead and share.
Okay. Well, this is a surprise. Didn't expect this, but so I've been playing around with the DP tree plugin, just kind of trying to figure it out, see what it's good at, see what it's not good at. What it's not good at is roots. So I used PX Bezier and Magic Bevel to try to make my own roots. And the other thing it's not good at is occasionally, if you zoom way in here, you get really weird branch structures where the algorithm just kind of goes crazy.
And if I remember correctly, that's a free plugin, isn't it?
It is free. Yeah. It's in DP Virtue, I think. Okay. Dense Pontier's stuff. So the bane of editing this is finding all these weird little branch problems and cleaning them up. And actually, one question I wanted to throw out for all the attendees here, maybe someone has an answer, is in our selection tools. I often use grow selection. So if I get a poly loop there,
okay,
and use the right French brace, it starts to grow the selection, but it grows in all directions.
Let's see. So you selected something and you okay,
Yep.
let me I can't see where you're selecting.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so there's just
Actually maximize
let's
to your
maximize.
perspective view.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's so if we select the 2 polys here that make up this branch, and then loop select, as you mentioned earlier, with the right arrow,
Right.
and then the right French brace, curly brace, will start to expand the selection.
It has to be shift
Or shift.
right.
Yes, yeah. Shift right bracket.
Uh,
And then it'll expand the selection, but it expands in all directions.
is your poly that you're highlighted yellow?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
There it is. It's subtle on this.
Yes, it is very subtle. Yeah. So my question for the attendees is, can we get something that is like a grow selection, only instead of expanding in all directions, it only expands in one direction?
No.
I know. Wouldn't like
I
darn it.
I don't think I
can't figure it out. I don't think it does.
I don't think Lightwave does that. That's handy, by the way. If I'm wrong and anybody's going to correct me on it, yeah, please speak up. I think Lightwave is expanding in all directions. The only time you can get it to expand in one direction is if in one direction is already filled up and still needs to fill up going in a single direction, then it'll do it that way. But it doesn't.
My quote unquote solution
Yeah.
is to find the tip of the branch.
Right.
And then grow from there.
Right.
And just keep growing. And then once I think the whole thing is filled, then start to shrink. And eventually I'll get just the branch selected. And then I can manipulate this and improve this whole poly flow in here off of the main trunk.
So Dave 3D Guy mentions that can you also use weight maps on this?
I think the plugin does actually create weight maps.
Okay.
But I confess I don't know a lot about them.
Okay.
And using them effectively.
I'm wondering how would we use weight maps in terms of growing the branches out? I think the program's got that built in.
So there's a branch fineness weight map. So if I switch to weight shade, there's branch fineness. So it looks like it's 100% at the tips.
Right.
And then it fades down. Okay.
And it fades stronger as you get to the tip. So that's how it's growing the branches out. It's favoring the redder orange areas.
Well, here's another selection question then. Can you select based on a weight map?
I think you can. I forget the shortcut to it. Anybody have an idea? Is there a shortcut for altering your weight maps into a selection?
By vertex map value?
Well, but by the mere fact that you're having weight maps is a form of a selection in itself. So if you wanted to like, I guess stretch this out or something, utilizing your weight maps, you should get some interesting results. In fact, I'm curious. Show me your weight map menu.
Let's see.
I think it's
under map.
I think it's W.
Or the vertex maps.
Is it W? Or is it F? F8.
Yeah.
It's F8.
Okay.
And then under weight, you should see your weight map up there.
Yep.
And so I'm not seeing it on your screen for some reason.
Oh, really? It's not sharing? Oh, you're right. It isn't. Yeah, it's right there. It's it's a floating.
When you shared your screen, did you share your whole screen or did you just share the program?
I think I just shared modeler and it's not showing the modeler
window.
window.
Yeah, no, you want to share your whole screen. In fact, actually stop sharing and then share again, and this time share your whole screen and not just modeler.
Okay, share screen. And screen 1 or screen 2?
All right, just
Screen
pick
1.
Nope. Obviously, Lightwave is on.
Not screen 1, apparently. Screen 2.
One of two choices.
Okay.
All right, let me see what's going on here. Oh, I need to exit full screen on my end. This one, there we go. Cool, there it is. We see everything now.
Okay. So I guess if we can select, if we go to the select menu, I noticed there was select by vertex map value.
Yep.
But that would select all the branches, not just one of them.
Right. It'll select all the branches, but it'll favor the vertex map value.
Exactly.
Which is what we can do in any of our navigational tools as an option in Lightwave.
Click on OK.
And that's a good modeling technique too. If you think about advanced modeling techniques, using weight maps to kind of model your surfaces could be kind of cool.
I will have to explore weight maps a lot more. There's a lot of things in Lightwave I need to explore. I'm just a hobbyist.
Sure.
So,
and this is just a round table discussion. So basically, we can just play. If I actually try this, I'm just out of personal curiosity. Hit your H key for your stretch tool.
Okay.
Hit your N key for numeric so we can see it. Yeah, stretch it out a little.
I put a lot of my panels on my other monitor, so
sure. And then down at the very bottom on the fall off, select your weight map. Now, in order for this to work, if you go down the bottom right corner, you have the W selected.
Yep.
So make sure you select the proper weight map.
Okay, so branch fineness would be all these branches.
Yeah, and then do a stretch command. Just click and drag and stretch and see what happens. Yeah, there you go.
Well, so that's interesting. It's just changing one. It's not changing all.
That's interesting. All right. So then let's see.
Oh,
if you look at your vertex maps menu.
I know what I was doing. I had previously selected with polygons to show the grow command.
So then that's how you can select it. If you want the weight maps to work with that single branch, you got to select that single branch, I assume.
Okay. So double click to unselect, which I learned today. And we will go back to select by map value. See, it doesn't show that.
There's your weight map. There you go.
I've got it set to mouse as well, so it's gonna make some really weird stretching. But I'm not sure if it actually selected by the weight map or not.
Well, it is, because you got the weight map selected in the bottom.
On the fall off there, yeah.
Right, on the fall off there. So it is using.
Okay,
so if you try it again, you notice how the center of the tree is not moving.
So if we do branch level 100.
Right.
And so that's the different weight map.
Yeah.
That's funky. Note to self, don't save this.
So you got subpatch weight over there in the weight map panels. You have each one selected over there. Select all of them. To your left, to the weight map.
Subpatch weight.
On the right hand side.
Down here?
Well, no. Go back to your panel.
Yep.
All right. You have a check marks next to stuff. Can you do multiple selections?
Yeah. Shift key, I think.
Do them all. Okay, now try it.
And now it stretches.
They're all going to stretch.
Okay.
According to the intensity of your weight map.
Okay. Live and learn.
I like the different colors so that new tech gives you. I think you have a different color mapping on your system.
Yeah, I think the DP tree
Yeah.
plugin actually does the brown edge highlighting. I think he was trying to show the different texture maps that he's got. Well, he doesn't have the actual maps as Bark. Oh yeah, could have gone here too. Vertex maps is a menu I don't usually open. So again,
they're important.
Stuff I need to learn.
Especially for character animation. If you want certain aspects of your character to be more responsive to your bones than others, like skin flexing, the little vertex mapping becomes kind of important. In fact, I wonder if there's anybody out there. Let me get out of full screen mode. Let's see. Hot Pink Mandala. Hey man, welcome. It's about time. Took you long enough to get here. Hot Pink. Active color is nice.
Oh.
Person.
That was yeah. My eyes are so bad. I need something that really jumps out at you. So
yeah. So Parson says you must have a supercomputer, as weight shade view seems to be really smooth for you.
No, it's getting a little long in the tooth now. I think I've been running this about 5 years. 64 gigs of RAM.
And he also says make sure that you're using the local action center for your scale.
That was a new feature, wasn't it? The local action center.
Yes, it is. It was actually. Let's try that. Let's see what we get.
I can't remember what it does now.
What it does is if you select, say for example, well, I can. Well, I tell you what, I could. Well, just try push local for now because I can show. Yep. If you have several different areas selected, it'll manipulate each.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Right. Each localized poly as if you're working on it individually.
Okay, so if we stretch that. Oh, okay. Yeah, that went a little crazy. And I can't seem to undo it. Okay.
Control Z.
Control Z, yes. The best friend of a modeler. Let's try move instead.
It's just he's doing it right, waiting for the big game. I'm not a football fan.
Oh, there. I think that's doing it there. So it's just grabbing those polys.
Right. I would love to have someone do a presentation on the sculpting tools that we have in Lightwave now. Okay, so Pixelado says if you want to select a specific weight map, set the polys. Okay, let me read that again. If you want to select a specific weight map set of polys, you can use VMap poly selector under selections and maps. Maybe we should give that a try.
Okay.
Use the VMap poly selector under selections and maps.
Okay, so we go to selection.
And maps.
Select by map.
Select polymap. Select by map is or UBC or polymap. Okay, which one is it? Pixelado. Metamorphic, yes. DJ Lithium, yes. Metamorphic. Welcome.
Here we go.
Got it.
Select by vertex map.
Right.
So select. Okay. Okay. Well, I expected the polys to get highlighted, but I don't see them highlighted.
No. That's not the way. That's not the way vertex maps work. If you go to vertex map viewing mode, let's see.
Okay. Well, they are selected. They're only behaving on the branches.
Go to weight shade in your window.
Yep.
Option. drop it down to weight shade, and there you go. That's your selection.
And that's the selection.
That's right.
So you got to kind of look at it as a kind of like a Photoshop mask then.
Yeah, real nice for doing organic modeling stuff that you're doing now. This is all organic stuff here, and you can just futz around it. I think we've got a weight brush. I think we got a brush that allow you to manipulate these things as well. Metamorphic, I think, is going to be your best bet for modeling this.
Okay. So then if we did that.
Pixelado says, you were right there.
And there. Okay, so.
Okay, so
I think the purpose of the branch level 100, I think, is for placing the leaves. The plugin will also place card leaves, so to put all the little card polys all at the tips of the branches here.
Right. So DJ Lithium made a comment. While you are in the model, can't you not use poly selection? That will isolate further. Okay, I'm not quite sure what you mean by that, DJ Lithium.
No,
can you not use poly selection? Okay, so are you talking about like giving each poly a surface name and select it?
So in weight shade.
So he always forgets this stuff. Yeah, if you don't use it all the time, it's so easy to forget. Okay, so yes, he's in weight shade mode.
Second button. Select polymap tool. Okay. That doesn't seem to do anything.
Select polymap tool. Second button.
Get out of the stretch tool. Polymap tool.
Then use poly selection to isolate further.
Like. I'll have to read up on that.
Okay, so map second tool, yeah. Selection maps, second button, select polymap tool.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, so once you have the tool, is that applying the further applying the vertex map?
Okay.
Or is it actually?
Okay. Well, I collect on select polymap, so let's go into stretch again.
All right.
Doesn't want to stretch.
He says that DJ Lithium says the selected weight should prevent you from selection of anything else that isn't that weight. Okay. So it's a further way of isolating, I think is what he's saying.
Yeah, it still seems to all move. Well, that's something to read up on. It might be useful.
Well, your blue highlights is almost like a negative.
Yep.
Right. So then it's all moving because your orange is moving in positive while your blue is moving in negative. If the blue area was, you see what I'm saying?
Was 0, like the roots, because I added the roots myself, so they don't have a weight map. Okay.
JS1000 says yes.
Definitely something to learn.
It's the same thing as using like masking in Photoshop. Right. You got shades of gray, right? Here you've got orange and blue. So it's a graduation from orange, which is going to be your absolute selection, down to blue, which is the negative selection.
Right.
Okay, so DJ says the weight itself acts like a mask, right? Right. That's exactly correct, which we were just talking about. So if you are in poly selection mode, you should, I think, be able to select the polys of that mask only individually.
All right. So I added minus 100 to the roots. So if we then go back to,
And I'm assuming when you say
selection.
root, you're talking about the base of the tree?
Yeah, these little PX Bezier and Magic Bevel here.
And then the trunk of the tree, what is that?
That's just a subpatched rectangle. It's just, yeah, four.
Oh, no. I don't mean what it is in terms of
In the
UV world.
weight
Yeah.
map. Yeah,
Wait.
the weight map is minus 100.
Okay. So that's going to minus 100. So 0 would be nothing.
So
And then upwards is going to be your orange.
Back to airbrush.
Right.
Set it to 0.
So Magic Bevel works too. That's true. I get stuck on the pause sometimes. I like Magic Bevel. In fact, I'm going to go find it on my version of Lightwave here. I like Magic Bevel.
Need to make that. It is kind of fun to play with.
Because that would work great for these trees. That's probably what I would have used if I was going to make the trees. That plugin makes your life a lot easier. It does most of it for you, and then you can go in there with Magic Bevel and slowly bevel out additional branches. There you go. That's it. So this is your vertex brush where you can paint in your weight shade.
Yeah.
That's handy.
Okay, so if we go back to selection,
Right.
like DJ Lithium says, and say select poly map, then the quote unquote selection then
Right.
is going to be the tips of the branches where it's plus 100. And then the opposite effect is going to be where we've got minus 100 in the blue. And it won't do anything where I've been painting in 0. So if I then go to stretch,
Yeah, there you go.
The blue is shrinking, the orange is growing, and
that's right.
And the gray is doing nothing.
That's
okay.
right.
Well, live and learn. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it.
Rotate your model around a little bit so you can get more of a 3D perspective of this. Yeah. Hey, this would be great for making arteries in your veins and stuff, you know?
Cool. I think Dan Ablin did a tutorial video, and he used Magic Bevel to do brain neurons.
Ah.
So that was kind of trippy.
It's one of those jobs you need to be patient on.
I found I liked the PX Bezier a little bit better myself. I use that plugin religiously.
So what do you like about it over Magic Bevel?
I find the controls are a little easier. You can manipulate the Bezier line, as opposed to a freehand, unless there's something to do with Magic Bevel where you don't have to freehand it. You can, but I find Magic Bevel is kind of too fast for me.
Right.
It sort of spits out a lot in a hurry, and then you have to edit it later. So let's see, multiply. Magic Bevel. So if we grab that, now it goes slow. Go figure. When I was doing this earlier, it just kind of blurted out like a flood, and then I found I had to go in with delete not and kind of get rid of things, and then edit path to sort of coax it the way I want.
Have you played around with weight clone?
Weight clone? No, I have not.
You know what? I gotta show you this. I'm gonna share. You're okay. Just stay where you are. I'm gonna share my screen real quick. I like this weight clone. Here, I'm gonna make an escape pod that's going to go on the outside of this enterprise hull here. And then I'm gonna use weight clone to do it. So it's utilizing weight maps to clone individual objects. All right, so here's my disk. I'm gonna go to another layer, put the disk in the background. Let's go to my port view. Let's put everything in view. In fact, I'm gonna go over here to the top view only and get in close. So that gives me an idea of where my geometry is. And I'm going to go ahead and build some type of an escape pod. I'll do something simple like over here, and we'll start right about there. And I think what I'll do also is, let's go over to the side view. This is going to be modeled right into there, something like this. All right, let's go to the top view again. And I'm going to go ahead and take this shape. We're going to make kind of a little bit of a triangle from it. Pull it on up. We'll say that's going to be the basis of my. Actually, well, I'll go even further. I will. Let's call this one Escape Pod. And I'm going to give it a white color so it's easier for us to see it. There we go. All right, let me go to my little texture wire view. Let me go and grab. Let's go to the wire view so I can just grab all those points up there. Let's go back to texture wire view. And I'm going to Alt R, which is giving me a rounder edge, and that's going to be the basis of the pod. We'll say something like that, the escape pod. Okay, so let's turn that off. There we go. So how many of these I want across here? So I want to duplicate. Hey, maybe what I could do, I got something even better. Ooh, I got something even better. Okay, so I select this. Select them all, copy. I'm going to just put this in a separate layer just temporarily. Paste it. Let's go to my top view. Okay. I'm hitting the T key. I'm going to pull it to the side. Y for rotation, holding control key to rotate in, I think it was 45-degree increments. And we will hit the T key, and that's going to be the basis. So I'm going to go, we'll do this. This should work pretty well. We'll see how this works. Command X, Command V, so they're all on one layer. All right, I'm going to select both of these. And I'm going to apply a weight clone to this. So I'm going to go to my multiply tab, weight clone there. It's going to bring up the panel. I'm going to give it a weight, a weight name. So I'm going to call this one Escape Pod. How many of these do I want? I don't know. I'm going to say 50. So probably, let me kind of go over here and I'm going to say I want about 50 of these. All right. So escape pods, number of clones. I probably want 100, but we'll do 50. And then hit OK. All right. So let's go play. Let's go to the top view here. Let's bring our ship in the background. Okay. And I think what I want to do is I want to pull these pods so that it's kind of centered, like so. and I'm going to rotate this, right? So I'm going to go to my rotation tool, hit the Y key on the keyboard, N key for numerics to bring up the numerics pad. Let's just close this other stuff out, okay? I want to rotate this based on the fall off of a weight clone, right? So I'm going to go grab the weight. So the fall off is going to be a weight clone here, which I've got it established. Now, let's scroll this up so it's easier to see. Now I'm going to come down here for the weight and grab my escape pod. So that's got to be selected.
Okay.
All right. So let me turn on my that's my layers here. I thought I had this. This is kind of bizarre. I go to my layers. Was it? I thought it was down here. There you go. Okay. There's my ship in the background. I need to go find my there it is. Okay. Put the ship in the background. There we go. Now, if I put this dead center and I start to rotate, there we go. So that's how I would create my escape pods.
Wow.
It's that easy, right? So now if I go to my, see? And this is how you would create a lot of your greebly detail, right? Because you want that repetition going a lot. It adds visual interest. So if I go ahead and put them both, obviously the pods are too high. All right, so that's no big deal. We're gonna just go over here to the side view, get in close to any one of these. And I don't need to use my 3D widget for this. I can hit my T key and just hold the command key to restrict it and just bring it down like this. And that'll do the job. There you go. So that's kind of nice. So so 50, I just guessed it. It just happened to work. I'm going to do a different looking pod than what I have here. I think something's a little more interesting. And I won't do as many. That's too many pods, the escape pods, by the way. I don't want the whole ship to be littered with that type of detail.
Well, somebody has to go down with the ship.
Yeah. Remember the Titanic? They didn't have enough escape rafts for those things.
That's
so DJ Lithium says, why not use Radio Array? That's exactly what I did. The reason why I didn't use Radio Array, the old version, is because Radio Array doesn't allow you to visually see it. So, for example, I'll give you another quick example. If I go here and make I'm going to make a quick little staircase, right? So this is going to be one of my stair steps here. Okay, and then I'll select it. Shut up. I'll select it, and I learned this technique from I think he was the one that created this. I'm not sure. From Ken 9. So I'm going to apply my weight clone. I'm going to call it stair. And I'm going to select new because if the old one's still selected, you got to come here and select that new. And then it gives you the option to put in a name. So I'm going to call in here stair. I'm going to spell it right. And I want I'm going to say 20 stairs. Okay. It's there. So I'm going to make sure stair is selected under the weight map in the bottom right-hand corner. I'm going to go over to the side view, hit the 0 key. So there's a side view of my object. Now, with that selected, it doesn't really matter. hit the T key on the keyboard for our translate command, right? But under the fall off, tell it you want the weight map. The weight map's already the stairs. So I can go in any direction I want, right? I want the stairs to go up. I want them to go down, and I can visually see it instead of using the clone tools. See, and I can adjust this exactly the way I want, right? And it's using a weight map. Does that make sense? So when we're done, right, there's your stairs. So this tool I find to be very, very handy. So you make one
LWCAD has something like that, I think.
Yeah, I think a lot of programs. I think Moto has this basically built in it for the standard clone tools in general. It's like here you got to go to weight clone. There, it's already built into the program, right? But it's a fun one because then all I need to do is make one really good looking stair, right? So, like, I probably should have hit the bevel command and just made one really good. Yeah, I probably wouldn't want to do that either, but probably would have been better. Let's just use the rounder on this one. Like Alt R and then, oh, it's not working. Oh, you know why it's not working? I know why it's not working. You got to get it out of here and go on your own layer. When there's other objects in there, it doesn't like it. So if I go to a blank layer and put it in, right, now hit Alt R for rounder. Do it again. And, oh, it's still not working? Why is it not working? It's weird. It should have worked. Let me try some. Hit the M key on the keyboard for merge and see if maybe there's some. Yeah, it merged 24 points. So I had some duplicates going on in there. Really bizarre. All right, now let me try it. There it is. So I'll make one really good looking stair like that, or that's too many. Bring the points down. Probably the big just to do this. All right. Something like that. And then you can use that for your stair to kind of duplicate. Let's see. JS says just adjust offset and you can see it in real time. Okay. That's for the radio array. I assume you're referring to. Yes. Okay, cool. All right. So, did you want to share anything else? That's right.
No, I think I've learned a lot from you guys, so I appreciate that. And I'll join next week.
Yeah, come on next week. And guys, bring your demo reels or something, and share what you're doing to the group. I mean, that's we get new people coming every week. So we're going to do our giveaway. All right. We do a Creative Cloud license giveaway. And I also do a 5-week workshop giveaway for Photoshop. So I'm gonna grab my marker, and this is what I'm gonna do. As I do each time, let me get my pen here. Hopefully this is working. Oh, good, it is. All right. I'm gonna write a number. Actually, I'm gonna do it that way. I'm gonna just use the notepad. It's faster. I'm gonna put a number in Notepad. It'll be a big number in Notepad. Whoever gets the closest to that number we're gonna do the first giveaway for the 5-week Photoshop class. I think the next one coming up is the intermediate Photoshop class with the Wacom tablet. Later on, it will be the beginning or the advanced Photoshop class. So I'm gonna let you take a choice of which one you want. So I'm gonna put in a number on my pad, which I've just done. And what you guys are gonna do is whoever gets the closest to that number wins the 5-week Photoshop workshop. All right, numbers are coming in. So Daphne has 5 million because she already won it.
I was going to say, is it integers only or
Whole numbers like 33 or 11 or whatever. Okay. Is everybody done putting their number in? Oh, it's still coming through. They're still coming through. A bunch more coming through. Whoever gets the closest to my number, which I think I found one. All right. So stop punching in now. And I'm going to give everybody the winner. Okay. So the winner is, let me go get my notepad here. There we go. Okay, so 10 is my number. I think it's, let me go back. I thought I saw it was JS1000. Congratulations. So do me a favor. I'm going to put my email address in here. So email me, tell me that you want a Creative Cloud license, and we'll get you into the class. Trying to type in my email address correctly. Make sure it's spelled correctly, and it is. Cool. There you go. So the next number that I'm going to put in here is going to be for the 1-year subscription to everything that Adobe owns. Okay. So go ahead and put in your numbers in now again. And the closest to this number will get a 1-year subscription to the entire Creative Cloud. Okay, anybody else? I know there's more coming through. There we go. Yes, just 1,000. Nope, you can't participate. You already won some. Well, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. You can participate. If you won Creative Cloud during this year, then you can't participate again until next year. So I'm trying to spread the wealth. Okay. All right. Here's my number. My number is 88. I think the closest we've got was 90.
I was going to guess 88, but I didn't.
You should have guessed 88.
Eight's my favorite number. So, but
We've got 2 90s here. It's a split. It's a tie, I think, because Mac and Sense has got 90, and I think another guy's got 90. Right? Wasn't there 2 90s in there? There's a 92. Yeah, and Black Belt 3D has 90. All right, so Black Belt 3D and Mac and Sense, right? All right, you guys have to draw the tie. I'm going to put another number in here, and the person who gets closest to my number wins the Creative Cloud. And that's between Mac and Sense and Black Belt 3D. So both of you guys put in the new number in there. Black Belt 3D and Mac and Sense, put in your new number. Two men, I love this one. Dave 3D, 2 2 men enter, 1 man leave. All right, Mac and Sense. And okay, Black Belt 3D, I've got yours, Mac and Sense. Okay. My number is, where is it? There we go. It's 5. So the winner is going to be Black Belt. Congratulations. So Black Belt, I put my email address in the chat box. I'll do it again. Send me an email. Tell me that you won the Creative Cloud license. Cool. There you go. Very good. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this broadcast. And I'm going to get those other broadcasts and get them uploaded to the Twitch as well. Because Twitch has a tendency to hold some things and not others. I don't know what the rules are. So, but as long as I upload them again, they'll be there. All right. I think no, and Rotsreg, thank you very much. And thank you, a big thank you to Andrew Combe. Really appreciate your time, and come back next Sunday with and to share something, okay?
Oh, thank you.
All right, so we'll see you next Sunday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific time. We'll be here. All right, thank you everybody for joining. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye. If you make sure if you're not following me, just as another note, follow me now so that you're notified whenever we go live. And if you subscribe, it's like $4 a month. If you subscribe, you get access to all the videos we ever did and ever will do. So subscribe as well. All right. Great. We'll see everybody next week.
See ya.
Bye-bye. So